Hey everybody, I'm making this video because I wanted to go over how tax rates work and like why you get the amount of taxes that you pay for your property. Well, here in New Jersey at least. So first of all, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I just got off the phone with somebody who is wondering, okay, like why am I getting paid? Like why do I have to pay these taxes for this property, and then somebody has to pay different taxes? My houses, like our houses are similar, so I've explained this to people many times, so I might as well just do a YouTube video about it and just send the link and say, hey, here it is. So anyway, first, my name is Robert Sivori. I work over at United Real Estate Agency. My phone number is 908-432-2526. As you can see here with my cursor, I'm pointing to it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my Garden State MLS. This is how I get the tax reports. And sorry about that. That was my phone. This is how I get the tax reports. And let's log in. So I'm logging in right now into my Garden State MLS, and then I go to search, quick search, and taxes. All right. Let me get rid of this calculator here, but I'm gonna bring the calculator back. So I'm just gonna go on to all right. So Passaic County, the city of Patterson, and I'm just gonna put in any. This is gonna give me every single house that's or property that's on Pacific Street in Patterson. I just chose Pacific. That's the street I grew up on. So there's 120 properties on Pacific Street in Patterson. So I'm gonna click yes, and you have all these houses, right? So there's 120. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let me just pick whatever houses, so whatever property. So okay, so let's pick this one. All right, so as you can see, all right, that the tax rate for each and every single property in the city of Patterson, and once again, this is just an example for the city of Patterson. You live in Clifton, they have another tax rate. You live in Wayne, they have another tax rate. You live in every single city, municipality, town, they have their own tax rate. And the way that this tax rate is figured is basically the city council, this is from what I understand, somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. What they do is, like last year in the year 2020, right? I think like early in the year they voted on what this year's tax rate was going to be. So they saw a list of like the projected expenses, and they're like, okay, well, our tax rate is, for example, like 4.0, right? So for next year, for calendar year 2021, we need, there's all these expenses, and it's going to come out to cost more. All right. So we need to increase the tax rate. So the tax rate, could have gone from 4.00 to 4.175. All right. And I'm going to show you pretty soon like how these taxes are calculated. So for example, let me get my calculator over here. Hold on for one sec. Okay. So all right. So this is how they're talking. How your total taxes are calculated. So this property over here, 192 Pacific Street in Patterson, the taxes that this owner pays, all right, this owner is Gina Realty Corporation, pays is $8,822. Okay. I'm sorry. You know what? It's this amount, $9,109.85. Okay. All right. So how do you get to that amount? Very simple. You see this land assessment and this land assessment and improvement assessment and total taxable assessment. Okay, so basically, some time ago, whenever this house was assessed by the city, this property was assessed by the city, not given a value. All right, now remember, there's a big difference between what the property is assessed and what the value is. Okay, so let's say this was assessed 5 years ago. Okay, the value of this property is different now. Okay, because prices are going up, right? So once again, I don't know when this was assessed, but let's just assume it was 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, this land was worth 25,500. The improvement on the land, in other words, the building on it, the house, the garage on it, it could have been apartment building on it, whatever's on top of that land, the improvement to the land is $192,700. Okay, if you add this with this, All right, so 25,500 plus 192,700, it equals this amount over here, $218,200. Okay, all right. So that's the total taxable assessment. All right. I don't know what this property is like right now, but let's just say, the owner of this property says to me, "Hey, Rob, I want to sell my property." Who knows? Maybe it'll go for $350,000 today, and I put it on the market for 350. Okay, that's the value now. That's not assessment. That's the value of the property. That's the price that the property is going to go for on the market. Okay, now what you do then is this is how you calculate the taxes. These yearly taxes that this property owner has to pay to the city of Patterson. You get this total amount, this $218,200, and then you multiply it by the city's tax rate, but you multiply it by the percentage of that amount. So the tax rate right now is 4.175. All right. So the percentage of that amount, I press times, right? Times. The percentage of that amount is 0.04175. I press equals, and that's $9,109.85, which is the same thing, the same amount that's found right over here. Okay, that's how you get the amount of taxes that are owed. So I'm gonna press the next for the next tax report, and as you can see, the tax rate is the same. Why? Because every single property in the city of Patterson has the exact same tax rate. All right, but as you can see here, the tax assessment is different. I mean, I don't know what this property looks like and what this one looks like, but let's say they're identical. All right, and I don't think they are, but they would still have different tax assessments. All right, that happens. Okay, so you have, so once again, different tax assessment, same tax rate. All right, different tax assessment, same tax rate. So you multiply this times this by the percentage of this, and then you get this amount. Right. All right. There's another house that I saw. Okay, so this is an example that I just saw a few minutes ago. So this individual, Luis Maldonado, right? He bought the house, as you can see over here, just a few months ago. All right, on December 15, 2020, for $290,000. All right. All right. His property is assessed at $155,000. Right. So you can see how the assessment is completely different from the value. Okay. So once again, you multiply 155,700 times the rate, right? A percentage of the rate, 0.04175, and you get $6,500.47, which is what you see here. So Lewis's yearly tax bill is $6,500.47. Right now, maybe I could talk about this other thing in another video, right? But you can appeal it. So there many people appeal these assessments because sometimes they're too high, right? Because they haven't been reassessed or whatever. So but for example, this individual over here, Lewis, he's not gonna want to appeal it because when you appeal your taxes, right? What you're effectively doing is you're trying to convince the county that your tax assessment is too high, right? So let's say you just bought the house for $100,000, but it's assessed at $155,000. You have to appeal, all right, with the county. I work with an attorney. I to be honest, I haven't worked with him on tax appeals in quite some time. It's been several years now, about maybe 5, 6, or 7 years. He's an expert when it comes to tax appeals. I remember when I used to work with him on these. There were I would have to get like a list of, I think it was like 4 or 5 comparables, sold comparables in the area. So that we can that matched like what we wanted, like what the house like sold for. And sometimes houses, for example, would sell for like a house, would sell for $100,000, but I had an assessment for 150. I think the deed was enough. Like the deed was enough for this attorney to go to the county and say, hey, look, this is assessed too high. and then the county would decrease the assessment here from 155,000 to $100,000, and then when you do that, you plug in the numbers. So like, let's say, this was down to 100,000, so $100,000 times the percentage of the tax rate, 4.175. Then you see how it decreases from 6,500 to 4,175 now. So that would be good for the owner. For this owner, it doesn't make any sense, right? So uh, Louis over here is not gonna go to the county and say, "Hey, I want you to match my assessment to what I bought my property for," because he just bought it, like I said, a few months ago for $290,000. So he's at 155 right now. Why would he want to increase it? Like, that's what he would be doing. Imagine if, now, like, if he increases it, if he increases his assessment to 290,000 times the tax rate, his taxes would almost double. So he's not going to do that. All right. So I keep on clicking next, and as you can see, the tax rate is all the same. And you know what? This year, I don't even know if they already voted for it for like next year's tax rate. But sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it stays the same. So who knows if Patterson has already voted for this tax rate, or they made a decision, whether to keep it the same, to increase it, or to decrease it. If it's decreased, great. People get, like maybe they'll get like a few $100s taken off from their yearly tax bill. Maybe it's not that much. It just, once again, just depends on the expenses for each city. But if there is a need for more money to come in because there's more expenses like anticipated, then the tax rates will go up, and because of that, this tax amount will go up as well, right? So if you have any questions regarding this, if you're a homeowner, in Patterson or wherever in New Jersey, please let me know. Let me, give you my information here again. This is my name is Robert Sivori. I work over at United Real Estate Agency. My phone number is 908-432-2526. And regarding like values of property as well, if you want to know what your house is worth right now, just give me a call. One of the services that I provide is I can provide to you a CMA so that you know what your house is worth. Maybe you're thinking about refinancing the house or selling it. Right now is a good time to do either or, with interest rates like pretty low. So that's about it. All right. See you in the next video.